So you're trying to buy a house in Utah and you don't know what you're doing. You're a first-time home buyer and it seems like there's all sorts of mistakes that you're making. Well, that's because you're probably making a couple of them. So I want to go over the top 3 things that I see mistakes that new home buyers are making here in Utah. First one being not knowing what you want. Second one being not making a plan. And then the third one being not have the grit to go all the way through. So hope you can find these useful and let's talk about it a little bit. First question, what do you want in a house? What are things that you need in it? What are things that you would enjoy having? And what are things that would disqualify a home? And so when you're first writing a list, and so you're gonna have real estate agents or even you, or go look online and fill out a form that's kind of like this right here. Something that asks you these questions. How much square footage do you need? How many acres do you need? Do you need a garage? Do you need a 3-car garage, 1-car garage? Do you need a backyard? And understand your needs and the things that you would enjoy having. Something where you have a dog, so you need to have a backyard so they have a place to go and hang out while you're away. If you have kids, then you need a couple extra rooms because you don't want everybody living in a 1-bed, 1-bath. And then what are some of the things that you are actually just would enjoy having in a house? I would enjoy having a pool. I would enjoy having newer windows. I would enjoy blah, 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 blah. And then look at the middle ground between all of those. Are there certain things that you would enjoy having that you would be willing to give up a little bit because there's only what you need in a house to be able to move into it? Figure that out. Sit down and really think about that. Sit down and really plan it out and work with yourself. And don't only go with the square footage and some of the basic stuffs, but also go with the things that would disqualify a home. I do not want a swamp cooler on the top of my house. I do not want to live in this area. I do not want to have wooden windows. Stuff kind of like that. And so the hardest thing that I see with first-time home buyers is they don't understand what they're looking for. And it is great. Let's go look at houses. That's the best way to go about it. Talk to your agent. Looking at houses will help you understand everything. But if you go in it with a plan, all of a sudden you're going to be able to start checking things off and understanding your situation better and quicker and make it so that you're quicker in a position where you are a competitive buyer. And so that's my first piece of advice. And the first mistake that I see people making as first-time home buyers is they don't go into it with a plan. They don't understand where the middle grounds on their wants and needs are, and they don't understand things that would completely disqualify a house. So make a list, write it out, and understand it. The second largest mistake that I see a lot of first-time home buyers making is just the fact that they don't have a plan. A plan for what are we actually wanting to offer? I mean, what is the list prices that we're actually wanting to look at for the mortgage payment that we're expecting? A plan for when do we want to start looking at houses? And then especially a plan for what does it look like once we start submitting offers? I think a lot of people expect to go into it and to figure it all out, which isn't a terrible way to do it, but the more of a plan that you have, the more prepared you're going to be once you do start submitting offers. The more of a plan you're going to have for what am I actually wanting to do buying this house? Is it an investment property? Is it a 10-year home? Is it a family home? So on and etc. I think that if you can sit down and actually think, what is the actual mortgage price that I want to have, the mortgage payment that I want to have? What is the function of the home that I am buying as an investment or a family home or whatever and whatnot? It'll help you decide how aggressive you want to be in the offers that you are having. Because if you have a plan for those 2 first steps, it'll make it so that if you see a house that's cheaper but doesn't serve all of the wants that you have, you'll be able to have a plan for what are we willing to offer for this house? What would be our highest number for it that'll make it so it'll functionally do everything that we needed to do? And going into it with this plan and working with your agent and your lender, it's just going to make it so the process is that much less confusing, especially once you start submitting offers. It's sitting down with an agent and understanding how aggressive or not aggressive or how much you want to try to finagle working with the seller and everything like that. So especially going into it, make a plan. Why are you buying the house? How much do you want to buy these houses for? And what are the homes that you would like to submit an offer on? Easily the third largest mistake that I see buyers making in today's market is just that they give up. They give up after 2 houses because they feel like, oh man, this is never going to work. I can tell you, everybody that's gritted their way through it has eventually found a house, especially after 5. I haven't had a single client that's looked at 5 houses with me or put in 5 offers that we eventually didn't get them into a house. A lot of buyers think that in this market, it's weird to be losing 2 or 3 or 4 contracts, but it just isn't true. You're not going to get every one of them, especially if you're not a hugely strong buyer. I mean, that's just a fact. If you're using a USDA or an FHA loan, it will be harder to get you into a house. But to be very clear, it is possible to get you into a home if your finances are in order enough that you can qualify for a loan that will support that. If you can qualify for a $350,000 house, you can find a house to live in Utah and buy it at a price that you're comfortable with, as long as you're willing to go through the process of losing houses, learning the process, losing houses, learning the process, and eventually you'll be set up in a spot that'll be the perfect exact situation that you want. So don't give up, because that is one of the biggest things that I see that buyers are doing. If it may not take you 1 week, but even if it takes you a month and a half, that's a lot better than not getting into a house at all, if that's what you need to do. So, making sure that you understand what you want and need into a home is one of the largest things that you have to start doing if you're thinking about buying a house. Having a plan for what type of home you want to get into and what are the payments and how aggressive and the purpose of that home is a huge piece of trying to buy a house, and not giving up quickly. Having the grit to stomach your way through it and just keep on going is the third thing that you just have to do especially as a first-time home buyer. So I hope this helps you out. Please let me know if you have any questions. I'm a real estate agent here in Utah. I've sold a whole bunch of houses and everything like that. So let me know what questions you have. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help you out, and I hope you have a great day.